Good morning and welcome to Rose Red Homestead. And today I think we're going to have a little bit of fun. I've always been pretty independent-minded throughout my life. And I think that that's important. I think people should be very self-sufficient and want to take care of themselves. And I've always wanted to just kind of do things myself. And Jim accuses me of always wanting to do things my way. Well, he's the same way. And so sometimes we have to negotiate a little bit. But as many of you know, this past summer, I celebrated my 80th birthday. And there are just some things that I can no longer do by myself. One of the things about aging is that we lose strength in our muscles, and it is just what it is, and so we have to deal with it. Well, I've been dealing with it for several years, and I've just tried to tough my way through it. And when I try to open a jar, for instance, if I can't get it open, I tap it on the countertop, or I grab a wet rag and really just struggle and struggle. And then I take it to Jim because he can open anything. And so the other day, I just decided this is so ridiculous. I need to build a bridge and get over the fact that I need some help. And I really should have done this years ago. I just had a sister-in-law visit, and she's had some of these one particular of these gadgets for a long time in her kitchen. And she's probably 20 years younger than I am. So anyway, I'm late coming to this party. However, Jim and I just had a blast once we looked at a jar opener possibility, and there are many of them. Then we got to thinking, well, what other gadgets are there that might help us along so that we can have them ready when the time comes, if and when we need them. And so we have gathered a lot of gadgets. We're going to show you 8 today that are really, the title says Gadgets for Seniors or for Everybody Else. And that is really true, because there are lots of times in our families when we need a little help with doing some certain things. And so I'm going to show you what we've got, and I'm going to actually start with the jar openers. So I have our jar openers gathered right here. These two came in a single package, and we're going to do these first. I'm going to show these first. So this one has, this is the one my sister-in-law said that she had, and so it can open a lot of different sizes of jars. And so I thought we might try with this little peanut butter jar that's never been opened. So it goes on the very big end. Now, when you have things more toward this end, then you have a lot of leverage to work with. So let's see how this works. Now, this is peanut butter. It's not going to spill if I turn it sideways. Oh my gosh, I can't do that. Well, let me try this. Now, this is what really sent me over the edge the other day, so that I could find something that would help me open these. This is just the Gatorade Zeros, and I drink usually about one of these a day to help manage my electrolytes. So let's see, and I've not tried this before, so let's see. That's too big, so it may be this one. Okay, now this time I don't have a lot of leverage on this end, but I can probably hold it on this end, although that's a little awkward. So let me just see if I can do it here. Yes, I got it. Okay, so that worked, and much easier than the struggles. These, I think, are just about the hardest lids I have ever tried to undo. And Jim can just twist them off like they're butter, but I know other people struggle with these as well. So this is one way of doing things, and its little companion opener has a lot of different options. This little place right here is the perfect size for soda pop bottles to open if you have trouble with that, but I don't have an example of that. It also has these prongs here that would open. This is a vacuum sealed jar of lentils, and so let's see if it works here. Yes, it would do that just fine. So as I open these, I'm going to get them out of the way here. And then it has your classic beer opener, which we don't ever use. And it has some other suggestions on the front in little drawings which I find a little bit difficult to interpret. Oh, I know what. When you get a can that has the little pull tabs on it, like some cans of tuna, this little attachment will also, you can just hook it under that tab. Any pull tab opening, these little hooks will work. So this is a nice set. It has some use. I struggled a little bit. I couldn't get the peanut butter jar open. So all 8 of these gadgets that I'm going to show you are going to be linked with links to Amazon, so you can check any one of them out that you might want to just see a little bit more about it. Jim just volunteered to open the peanut butter jar for us, and so I think he just wants to show off his muscles. So this one is an OXO jar opener. It has a little insert right here that you can just pull right out and put down on the counter, and it's grippy, and so you can put your jar or whatever you're opening on top of that to help stabilize it while you are using this tool. Now, this tool is a Y. On one side it has teeth. This little hole isn't anything, it just shows you which way to turn in case you don't know which way to turn. And so jars that are this diameter to this diameter can all be opened with this tool. Now, I just opened one bottle of my Gatorade, and I want to show you how easy it is with this one. Now, the only thing with this one is it has this flat plate right here, and the flat plate needs to be flat against the top of the jar. You just slide it in until it stops, and it's here, so it's not going to twist, and then it just goes like this. And that's all there is to it. And so I can do 2 or 3 twists, and this is done. So for the way my muscles work, this is far better than this one for opening this. Okay, so now I have 2 of these open. Honey, you might have to help me drink one of these today. So let's see.
If you say so. I know you don't like showing them.
So let's see if we can open the peanut butter jar. So I'm going to put it on the grippy thing. So we got our peanut butter open with the OXO. And I am not going to open it up. So good for us. Maybe next time, honey. So let's see how this works with this. Again, it's going to be at the other end. I can't get that one. So let's try this. Are you kidding me? My gosh. Okay, that was the OXO. Now, these little jars are really, really hard to open. I struggle with these as well. And so I'm going to try this one to be fair. Oh, I shouldn't use that because it's not part of this. Maybe I'm using this wrong, I don't know. Oh, I can't use that.
Why not?
Because it doesn't come with this. I can't do that. Okay, so let's see this. Oh. Flat down.
I don't see a problem with mixing match.
Wow. Okay.
So the winner is?
The winner is the OXO one. I can see where this could also be handy. This little piece, they come together. This little piece is also pretty handy. Okay, and then this just fits right here. So I'm not going to open up my olives because I know that this would also do about the same. Now, the last one is one that was advertised to use for pill bottles. Now, I don't struggle much with pill bottles, and Jim doesn't either, but the time comes when we might, and we get our prescriptions from Walgreens, and they have a particular type of a jar. Now, one thing I learned about this lid, well, I'll tell you that one in a minute. Now, this, the bottom here has a little tab right here. Sometimes you have to push down and twist. On this one, you have this tab that you have to pull down and twist. And they're pretty easy to open. So I don't struggle with these, but with this has a magnifying lens here so that you could read your prescription fine print if you needed to. And then it has graduated diameters here so that it fits pretty much every pill bottle. That is wider or less wide than this opening right here. So the way that I figured out to use this for a bottle that has the tab is that I just look where the tab is and it's pointing this way. So I'm going to fit this over it until it stops, and then I'm going to push down where that tab is, and then I can open it. If I push where the tab is, so I'm getting the tab, and then twist, then I can get it open. Now, with these, wow. With these lids, these little two-story lids, you might notice that there's threading on the top. I didn't even know this. Jim showed this to me the other day, that once you get it open, when you get it home from the drugstore, you can flip the lid upside down and screw it on like this, and it's just a regular screw lid that makes it very easy to open your pill bottle. So that's something that I learned from my sweet husband. Okay, so these are the next four that I'm going to show, and actually the first one is this ladder. Now, if I remember right, in fact, I know that we have, is this in the way? That we have shown this ladder in one other video. About a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, we had a flood that ruined our bearing wall right here in terms of it dripped down the side with so much water that it washed out some of the sheetrock. And so I did the repair on that because I know how to do that. And but it required me to climb a ladder. Well, our kids have been warning us for several years that they really don't want us to be climbing up on ladders. Step stools are okay, but ladders are not really okay. And then I found this, and this is what I used to do that repair, and I was actually standing up here and reaching up on the ceiling, but look how nice it is. It has a grip to help me climb. And then when I'm up high, it has another grip that I can put my left hand, I'm right-handed, so I can put my left hand right here while I work on the ceiling, or I can even step higher on this. And the handles are out so that if I start to fall, it makes an easy, I've never fallen off a ladder, period. But I didn't even come close to being uneasy on this ladder because of the way it works. And I have a little tool placed right here. And so we really highly recommend this ladder. People who have come into our home and who have seen this also think it is such a great idea. So this next tool looks like this. It has a hook on one end, and then it has something that looks like a really long needle threader, for those of you that have ever used a needle threader. This is to help people fasten buttons. And I watched my father really, really struggle as he aged after he got well into his 80s to even struggle buttoning up his Sunday shirts, particularly the collar button. So I'm just going to show you how this works. The hook is for zippers. If people have trouble pulling up zippers, it would be difficult if I don't have any dresses that zip up the back, but it would be difficult to use this because I can't reach that far anymore, and trying to do it, I would have to figure out another way. So what you do with this tool is...
I can volunteer.
Thank you, honey. Always useful. So what you do is you thread the this end through the buttonhole, and then here you thread the button through the little contraption here.
so that it's like you're in this position, and you pull kind of hard on it, and then you just work that button right through the buttonhole, and there it is. So this is a great tool for people who might be struggling for buttoning up things. I'm so grateful that we have these tools, that they have been invented, developed, because people are living longer these days. In fact, I just read an article in one of the AARP magazines that with modern medicine on the trajectory that it is, if it keeps going, we may be able to extend our lives to 200. Well, frankly, there's no way I want to live 200 years. But in any case, we're living longer, and as we age, we can still stay very fit, but we still need help doing certain things. So this handy little thing, I wish I would have had this last year, and many times since. I am now having a very difficult time getting up off the floor if I'm down on the floor in a sitting position, or even kneeling like with gardening. I have a little cart that I use with my gardening that I kneel on that has two sides to it that I can push myself up, and it's been a game changer for me in gardening. And this is one that I can just carry with me easy enough, and it comes in 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. The sections can be removed by just removing these bolts, and you can take out this much, or this much, or this much, depending on what the greatest need is for you. But about a year and a half ago, I was preparing for a group coming over and for doing a little class on emergency preparedness locally, and I needed to fill empty soda cans with pea gravel to support a rack. I needed 4 cans. I was going to put a rack on the top, and then a cardboard box that I had turned into an oven on the top of that, and I was going to bake some bread in it. Well, those cans needed some stability, and so I was going to fill them halfway with pea gravel. We have pea gravel out in our driveway, so I just went out with my cans and filled those cans with pea gravel, and then I couldn't get up. And, you know, I've seen those ads on television, help, I can't get up. And I always thought, my goodness, that would be such a scary feeling, not being able to get up. And yes, I can tell you that it is. It was ridiculous. I could not figure out a way, and the rocks were kind of sharp on my knees. And so I finally had to just get myself through a little bit of crawling and rolling over to my car, where I then put my hand up on my tire, and then I could push myself up. Well, this little deal would have been just great. If I would have taken this with me, I could have grabbed a hold of this and pushed down on this and then stood up. So that would work just great. So this one, I don't know why I didn't get this one years ago. This is such a handy thing. I'm finding all kinds of things that I need to use it for. Whenever my great-grandchildren come over, they are aged 2 and 4, and they like their special silverware. So let me get that down for you and show it to you. Here is their special silverware. And so I can reach up in my spice cabinet and grab a jar of spices, or a jar of salt, or a carton of salt right here. And even though that's what I was just going to say, even that's 1 pound and a little bit heavy, I can still manage it. And I could manage it if I would have gotten it. Well, maybe not. Maybe I shouldn't do the salt. But I certainly can do lighter weight things. Now I want to show you how I normally have to get down my baking sheets. They're right up here in this cupboard. Well, I can't reach it. So I have to open my refrigerator door, and then I can reach it, and standing on my toes, I can then pull out the sheet that I need. So I now no longer need to open my refrigerator door, because I can open the cabinet door, and then I can reach the pan even from standing farther away and bring it to my hand and pull it down. So that is a handy dandy tool. Now, here is our last tool. I am so thankful for this tool. I just told Jim a couple of weeks ago that it is getting more difficult for me to get in and out of my truck, especially at times when I wear high heels, which is not so much anymore now that I'm retired, but I wear heels to church. And so when I drive my truck into church and trying to get in and out of my truck can be a little bit problematic. So we're actually going to go out to my truck and I'm going to show you how this works. Now, I don't need any help getting in and out of Jim's car. The low cars are not any problem for me. But my mother, when she was in her final years, had difficulty just getting into a car, and so did my dad. And this little tool would have been amazing for them. So we're going to head out there and I'm going to show you how I can now get into my truck. So I usually just open the door, and then to get in the truck, I generally put my hand right here, and that's all. I can't hang here very well. It's just not easy to get in. So pulling myself up this way takes a little hop and a jump and a hope that I can make it. Now, this tool fits in the door closer gripper right here. The latch is here, it fits into this place right here, and so this fits here. Now, so it's very, very sturdy. So now I have one place where I can push down, one place where I can pull up, and it's very easy for me to get in my truck. And we bought a package of 2. So I now have one for this door and one for the other door. When Jim drives, I can get in and out easily that way as well. So I think this is one of the finest tools in our collection. For me personally, it really has changed my life in that I now think I can hang on to my beloved truck for another 10 years because I can now get up and down in the truck.
So go ahead and get up and do it again.
Being able to push downward is really helpful. It makes the whole operation very comfortable. As always, we hope this video is useful for you. And if you are not yet ready for any of these things, at least now you know what type of things might be available for you. So thank you so much for being with us, laughing with us when things don't go quite the way we had hoped. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate our community so very much, and we will be back very soon with more videos.